Topping our lineup here on the Now, more couples are adding custody agreements to prenups, but we're not talking about children, which you have to consider when it comes to pets. And the holidays coming to a close, and you may have some gifts that frankly you want to return. We're going to look at some new options that companies are giving you to make that process a little less stressful. And companies are starting to help employees pay off student loans. What the employers actually get out of offering this to you.
Thanks, Chris. And this is the Now Indy. I'm Mark Mullins. Muncie Mayor Dennis Tyler will have to wait a little bit longer for his federal trial to start. In November, Tyler was arrested by the FBI and charged with theft of government funds. His trial was originally on the books to begin in January, but his attorneys asked the judge to give him more time to negotiate a plea agreement and to prepare for the trial. The new trial date is set for May 25th. Tyler is one of 7 people facing charges in a Muncie corruption probe. Tyler will be leaving office at the end of the year. He did not seek re-election. 2 of the 3 Southern Indiana judges suspended following a fight in downtown Indianapolis earlier this year are back on the bench. Clark County Circuit Court Judge Brad Jacobs and Crawford Circuit Judge Sabrina Bell were reinstated Monday. Both served 30-day suspensions. A third judge, Clark County Circuit Court Judge Andrew Adams, will be reinstated next month after completing a 60-day suspension. Adams and Jacobs were shot during a fight outside the White Castle back in May. They were in Indianapolis for a conference. Adams pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor battery charge and received a suspended jail sentence. Neither Jacobs nor Bell were criminally charged. Police in Southern Indiana want you to be aware of a counterfeit cash ring. The fake $100 bills look like the ones you see there on your screen. Police in Dearborn County say the bills are circulating in and around Lawrenceburg. Authorities say the fake money feels more like paper than real money. The fake cash also has different writings and symbols, including what may be some sort of Asian writing. Police say if you spot the cash, do not accept the bills as payment. The change of the calendar to 2020 will bring changes to Central Indiana's land-based casinos. Harrah's Hoosier Park in Anderson and Indiana Grand Casino in Shelbyville will unveil live tables for the first time. They include roulette, 3-card poker, blackjack, and craps. The addition of live tables have added hundreds of Hoosier jobs at both casinos. Special opening ceremonies and giveaways are planned at both facilities. The games will be open to the public at Anderson and Shelbyville Wednesday afternoon at 1 o'clock.
It's happening right now, Mark. Sky is getting colorful, and I think we'll see that nice burst of color here in the next couple of minutes as the sun sets, and we've got some breaks in the cloud cover. Clouds have been streaming in. They'll be with us here next few days. That'll tone temperatures down a bit, but still can't keep them from returning to the 60s by the time we get to the weekend. 62 in Indy, 3 degrees off the high temperature for today. Muncie and Bloomington 1 degree warmer than that. I want to show you here across Southern California the storm system that will be our rain producer in the southwest today, in the Midwest. By the time we get to Saturday and Sunday, the stream of clouds for us coming pretty much from Texas all the way up into Indiana. We may see some light sprinkles or occasional showers later tonight. Temperatures fall only into the mid-50s between now and 10 o'clock. I was down on Monument Circle last night. You can't imagine how many people were down just to walk around and enjoy these evening temperatures. You've got the green light again tonight.
Let's start the Now News feed. Pennsylvania's Roman Catholic diocese have paid nearly $84 million to hundreds of victims of sexual abuse. The AP says that number right now at 564 victims, but it is expected to rise. Administrators are working through a backlog of claims. At least 16 people are dead after a Christmas Day typhoon in the Philippines. The storm destroyed homes and debris, is now blocking roads. It was a strength of about a Category 1 hurricane. Well, hopefully you have smooth sailing any post-Christmas festivities and travel, because AAA is saying today may be the worst travel day of the year. More than 115 million Americans are traveling through New Year's. That is the most in 20 years. Well, the amount of money people are spending online for holiday shopping continues to go up. Americans spent more than 19% more this year between November 1st and Christmas Eve as compared to last year. That's according to MasterCard. The biggest single day for online sales was the 21st. Well, now that your holiday shopping is over, you may be wondering where you should start paying off some credit card debt. Only 40% of people surveyed by Compare Cards say that they're confident about paying off their credit cards in full. Now, the first thing you should know with this, it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. Now, financial coach Wilson Muscudin says that you'll need to calculate your net income first. And that's the amount of money you have left over after you pay your expenses. Now, if you think that this is when you can start tackling debt, he says think again, because the first thing you need to do is build an emergency fund.
I want to emphasize that people need to build an emergency savings before fast-tracking paying off that credit card debt. Because what you're going to want to do is to stop using those credit cards in that time that you're paying off debt, because using credit cards and paying them off at the same time rarely works well.
Now, this is because if you have an expensive emergency, you'll want to pull money from those savings before you hit the plastic. Otherwise, all that hard work will go to waste. You'll end up right back at square one. Experts do suggest saving for at least a month's worth of expenses. Now, once you get to the point of starting to save, now you could use what they call the snowball method. That's when you start paying off your lowest balance, but then there's also what they consider the avalanche method, where you pay the card with the highest interest rate first. All right, next in our lineup, if you are hosting a New Year's party, there are a couple ways we can tell you to cut down on the costs that can come with it. Now, the one item that you can save the most money on.
Boy Furniture Galleries. Live life comfortably.
Well, this is the Now Indy on RTV6. A man is recovering today after being shot on the city's northwest side. That shooting happened around 1:30 this morning near 35th and MLK. Authorities say the man was shot in the chest and the groin just outside of a home. Police say the victim was taken to the hospital in critical condition. However, they're still working on learning what led up to the gunfire. Metro Police tell us the victim is not cooperating with investigators. Investigators are looking for a suspect after a trade deal goes wrong. Metro Police were called to the Walgreens store at West 30th and Kessler around 10:30 last night. Officers tell RTV6 that a man went to the store with a friend to sell an iPhone. The suspect, a younger man, pulled out a gun, took the phone, and then shot the man selling the phone in the leg. The victim was taken to the hospital and is expected to survive. Police have not released any more details on the suspect.
YouTube wants to show more than just some funny cat videos, because now it's trying to boost its learning page. The site is offering big incentives for people who post how-to videos. Now, this includes tutorials on anything like installing a toilet to math tutorials. Right now, YouTube is looking for educators who know their way around the site and have trustworthy content. Well, this year we saw plant-based foods boost in popularity, and this is a trend that's not expected to go away in the new year. Experts tell USA Today they predict that vegan products will become more mainstream in 2020, with cauliflower and Brussels sprouts becoming more popular ingredients. Experts also expect foods that help with the mind will become more popular. We're talking about foods that have calming properties or mood-boosting ingredients like turmeric and chocolate. Well, there is a lot of waste during the holidays, and we do have a few quick ways that you can make sure everything ends up in the right bins. Just look at your screen here. You can recycle wrapping paper and paper cartons, maybe for milk, eggnog, things like that. Also, paper cups, plates, and silverware, and you will want to keep these things out of the blue bins. We're talking batteries, candles, and old broken Christmas lights. Well, now that Christmas is in the books, it's time to look ahead to the new year, and with that comes another party to ring in 2020. With less than a week to plan, we went to the couple that calls themselves America's Cheapest Family for tips on how you can save.
One of the things you can do to save money on your holiday party is to either not have alcoholic beverages at all, but I don't know if that would tick off your guests. It depends on who your guests are. Or limit your alcohol consumption to beer and wine. Or alcohol.
Or make a punch.
Yes.
And just kind of skimp on the alcohol, but put some in.
Now, Steve and Annette say that alcohol is a big place to save. And if you are planning on having food, have some guests. Bring food as well. Don't put all the stress of feeding everybody just on yourself. Now, another money savings outlet, Money Talks, says don't forget about dollar stores either. They say that it's a great place to go get cheap decorations along with plates and glasses. All right, ahead in our lineup, visitation rights, partial custody, financial agreements. Well, they are common parts of prenups, but now pets are becoming part of the conversation as well. The experts weighing in on what couples should consider next.
A pussycat on price.
Some companies are helping employees pay off debt. Alicia Nieves went to find out how it helps both sides.
Chris, the average college graduate has about $30,000 in student loan debt, which means they're shelling out about $300 a month in student loan repayment. 44 million Americans are finding themselves in this situation, and now a growing trend is employers helping them get out of it.
My undergrad is in marketing. I also got my master's, just a general MBA as well. I graduated with $110,000 in student debt. It's startling.
31-year-old Eliza Badeau left college paying as much towards student loans each month as rent in Boston.
Making those payments was insane.
But a few years after working at Fidelity Investments, the company announced it was rolling out a new workplace perk, student loan repayment assistance.
Oh my gosh, it was overwhelming in a positive way. They asked if I would help pilot it, and I said absolutely. Why am I not going to do that, right?
No strings attached, Fidelity was now paying nearly 20% of her roughly $1,000 a month student loan bill.
In the beginning, it was something for me where I didn't see a future in buying a home. I didn't see a future in starting a family because I couldn't even fathom, getting married, paying for a wedding, or having children while battling this debt. So now it's something where that is an option for me.
A growing number of companies are offering similar help, in part because these employers are seeing it's actually benefiting them too.
And what we've seen is that it's actually contributing to a reduction in turnover of over 70%.
Asha Shrikantaya heads up the Fidelity Student Loan Debt Program. It's been so successful internally at increasing employee loyalty and productivity that the company has taken it external.
I have an entire sort of benefits business around helping people all across the country with standing up employer-sponsored benefits for student debt.
Fidelity has helped almost 100 other companies roll out some form of student loan assistance program. About 8% of companies across the country are now offering this new benefit. Over the next 5 years, that's expected to grow to 20%. And eventually, student loan repayment assistance could be as common of a workplace perk as 401ks.
I think there will be no choice. Just seeing the wave of the generations coming in burdened by the student debt, saving for retirement is a great benefit, but right up in there is dealing with your current debt.
And now that Christmas is over, the Department of Public Works and Indy Parks, they're not wasting any time helping you get rid of your Christmas tree. Recycling starts today, and you can drop off your live trees at 9 different locations across the city of Indianapolis. The list of drop-off locations is on your screen right now. They should only be left at this specially designated area within the park and only between dawn and dusk. You must also remove ornaments and any other decorations. Tree recycling in Indianapolis goes through January 31st and is only for residents of Marion County. You can find a list of drop-off sites by going to the RTV6 app and clicking on this story. An Evansville man who rides his bike 4 miles to and from work every day will soon be getting there much faster. Frank West was the center of a viral video a few weeks ago that showed him helping an elderly woman cross the street. Well, that act of kindness was caught on camera by the Nas family. After meeting Frank and hearing his story, they decided to raise money to buy him a car using social media. Frank and his wife Melissa say the gift is a blessing that came at just the right time.
He's had this bike for a while. I mean, it has he has stuffed black tape all over it, holding it together. We've been through a rough year, and it really reminds you that there are still good people, and it's just very rewarding to know that people are out there and care.
Frank has a social media group to thank for raising the funds to get him that car.
5:48 on this Thursday, very mild Thursday, 2 degrees away from that record high temperature today. 62 is where we stand now. The lights are becoming brighter. I love this time of evening. Then sun goes down, city lights come up, or holiday lights. Temperature 62. That wind has been strong today. It's out of the south, and it will be out of the northwest tomorrow. That will keep our temperatures in the mid-50s, so it'll break our string of temperatures at 60 or above, and it streak at 2 days. Sunset at 5:27. Mild next 3 days, although we'll talk about colder temperatures. We won't feel those until early next week when we'll be back in the low 40s and upper 30s. Weekend rain becomes likely. Saturday night, our chance will increase. Sunday, the most likely day. Then we're colder as we get to early next week. Temperatures now, I'll just let you shop around. Keep in mind, temperature should be at 38 this time of year. We won't even be close to that overnight tonight. Temperatures, they'll be down to 56 by 11 o'clock. We will see Thursday, a few sprinkles or very light showers develop as we go through the overnight hours. Temperatures generally lower 40s north, upper 40s to around 50 south, 46 or so in Terre Haute. Tomorrow's forecast, clouds will be with us, especially first part of the morning hours. We could have a couple of sprinkles left over. The wind will be out of the northwest. A cooler direction will struggle for temperatures to hit the mid 50s. To the south, where the front won't quite make it through, temperatures will still be a little warmer than that, around 56 or 57. As we look beyond to the weekend, then our rain chances increase. We'll talk about our 4-day forecast and more on the timing of that rain coming up.
Regulators tried to do more to stop robocalls this year, but Americans actually saw a dramatic increase in the amount hitting their phones. Social Security scams through robocalls took $17 million from people in just the first half of the year alone. Ride sharing has spiked in popularity over the past couple of years. Well, now car sharing is taking off. There's a new app that's called Avail. You can list your car on there and other people can sign up to borrow it. A popular spot where this is happening a lot, airports. People can make money while they're traveling if people borrow their cars.
Each car is equipped with a telematics device. It monitors GPS location, speed, braking, any of that stuff. So if anything were to happen with the vehicle, we would know about it and be able to address it.
Now, another perk, if no one uses your car while it's parked at the airport, you still get free parking. When a relationship or a marriage goes south, children can get stuck in the middle of a custody agreement. But now couples are thinking about their pets' futures as well with these conversations. And Trisha Keene looks into what couples should consider when including animals in a prenuptial agreement.
My boyfriend would definitely say that Murray is his dog as well. We both call him our dog.
This is 6-year-old Murray, a beloved member of the family. But if Amy Nash and her boyfriend ever go their separate ways...
In a playful argument, we would even say that, you know, like, well, Murray goes with me, the dog is mine. And so we could laugh or joke around about it.
Many couples are well past the joking part. Amy knows firsthand things get complicated with a family pet in the mix.
He had come out of a relationship when he and I met. And at the time when we met, we would still take care of his ex's dog. It was like partial custody of a child.
That's why many couples are adding the family pet to their prenuptial agreements.
It's just good advanced planning if you are going to bring a dog or cat into a relationship.
John Kelleher of Kelleher & Kelleher has been working on prenups for more than 20 years and says his firm has seen a significant increase the last few years with couples wanting to include animals in their contract. Most involve dogs and cats, with dogs outranking cats by 88%, according to a 2014 survey by the American Academy of Matrimonial Lawyers.
We've definitely had a lot of cases with disputes about dogs and cats. We had one where we had 2 Siberian Huskies, and the parties were adamant about each one wanting to keep both of the animals. I definitely have had cases where people have agreed in the litigation to have visitation rights, to have even some financial arrangement.
These contracts can cover everything from the cost for daily care to veterinary bills and even end-of-life decisions. John says in one case, a couple even agreed on terms in case his client changed her mind.
The agreement was that my client was going to keep the cat, but that if in some time in the future she decided that she either couldn't handle the cat or didn't want the cat, he would have first right of refusal to take the cat.
Any prenup discussion can be awkward, but John says these arrangements can help you avoid a lot of heartache and confusion down the road.
There is one judge down at family court that was known for taking, having the pet driven to the parking lot behind the family court, and basically the 2 parties stood equal distance from the judge, and then both of them called, and whoever the dog went to basically would win the day.
That's the kind of chance Amy says she doesn't want to take.
The whole concept, the whole idea of the prenuptial agreement, to me, it's very unromantic. Like businesses, it's necessary. It's a necessary evil sometimes. So I wouldn't love having the conversation, but sometimes the harder conversations are the ones that we have to have.
Trisha, thank you. Now, finally in our lineup today here on The Now, many people are going to the mall to return gifts that you might not have been in love with, but you don't necessarily have to step back into the store to do that. We're taking a look at some of the new options that are making returns a little bit easier.